Jack, are you frozen? Sam, are you there? Yeah, Jack, are you frozen? Sam, are you there? Yeah, Jack, are you frozen? Sam, are you there? What are we even doing here?
Yo, Wi-Fi flagging, but they holding it down. How about them J-era Maz ballers running Beantown? They say these guys are ridiculous, yet probably true. Like the 23 Celtics, they got a deep crew. Pregame Papa trying to make some bank. Professor Pete repping Latvia, KP the thank. RJ's on the email, taking fools to college. Joey, Matt, Timo, Robin, let's acknowledge. What are we even doing here? We're taking the crown. Checking Sam, talking Celtics and breaking it down. Competition can't keep up, they're starting to frown. What are we even doing here? In the garden, fighting for a quiet spot. Jack's taking notes while the crowd gets hot. Irate, insightful, not a diplomat. Sam's got a long list and it's just for rats. Rat list your Wi-Fi, rat list your dog. Rat list Bronny, rat list LeBron. Rat list the traffic, rat list the song. Rat list that's getting too long. What are we even doing here? We're taking the crown. Checking Sam, talking Celtics and breaking it down. Competition can't keep up, they're starting to frown. What are we even doing here? Might think they're chill, but don't get it twisted. They're not just hustling, they're highly gifted. Still new to the scene and making their mark. It's a humble beginning, it's a hero's arc. Sam's keeping it real with the Starkey vibe, but he's all in with Jack when it's time to ride. Yo, ass hat in the chat, Jack says don't come back. He's got zero patience for nonsense attacks. What are we even doing here? We're taking the crown. Checking Sam, talking Celtics and breaking it down. Competition can't keep up, they're starting to frown. What are we even doing here? What are we even doing here? We're taking the crown. Checking Sam, talking Celtics and breaking it down. Competition can't keep up, they're starting to frown. What are we even doing here?
Hey, we made it. Celtics, Bulls, Celtics back. Celtics are going to be back every other day for the next till the end of the new year. So get ready to see a ton of Jack and I, except for today. No Jack today. Jack is enjoying the holiday season. Let me see what these overlays are so I can see. Yeah, this is fine. He'll be back Monday. Monday we'll have a video with Jack in it. But tonight you have me. We have a very special guest joining us shortly. Should be very fun show. We've had this for a while, Dave. What's up, Muse? Celtics looking for revenge today. Kind of embarrassing loss to the Bulls on Thursday. Frustrating loss. Everybody was pissed after the game. And look at this. No need to be pissed anymore. Jake, hello.
What timing? No need to be pissed anymore.
Of course not.
How we doing?
Could we be? I'm great. It's great to see you. I look forward to these shows quite a bit. One of my favorite people to work with. I know the chat loves him too. We've got everybody in here. Jake, Celtics looking for their lick back today after getting pissed off so much that they couldn't win on Thursday.
Oh, man. Yeah, look, Celtics are yet to lose 2 games in a row this season, so we have to keep that streak alive. What up, RJ? Thank you. Happy Australian holidays. Yeah, it's holidays all around the world, which is fantastic news. But, yeah, man, can't be losing 2 games in a row. Oh,
Okay. I have an explanation. I joined in for 2 seconds, saw Sam was alone, and was like, oh, no, I wonder if Jake canceled. And so I came here because I didn't want you to be alone. But hello.
Oh, no. He's just running late. Very kind.
I don't mind hanging out, though. I don't mind hanging out. We can hang out with Jake. I'm just a little
1 to 10, Jack. How bad?
Cheers. Like 7.
Oh, so Jack's just getting on the beers instead of coming on the show today. Is that what's happening?
He's got his
my
Christmas potluck today.
Yeah, so we all brought stuff, and like I have a bunch of friends over, and we're just hanging out. But I've been like, so I don't know, Sam. Do you know what Edward 40 hands is? When I explain it,
I'm aware that you have to drink
do you know what that is?
Shots or
aware.
Shooters or nips, whatever you call them, where you're from.
No, it's not that. It's you tape 2 40-ounce beers to your hands, and you can't take them off until you finish them.
Yeah.
So I did that at around 3. Now I'm here, and Danny's here too.
Hold on, tell me in.
You guys all have the same shirt?
We do. We have Christmas PJs. It's on my Twitter.
Hello.
Danny, hello.
What's up, Danny?
Welcome in. It's been a while since you've been on. I think it's been since the 2022 finals. It's been a long time. Maybe it was the 2023 Eastern Conference finals. It's been a while.
I was the man on the street. No one runs the bar scene in Boston like I do pregame.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I was
is awesome.
doing live interviews. I still have some live commentary from some post Game 7 Heat losses that just never made the cut. Jack never put a clip together, which I can't blame him. But how we doing? How we feeling about the Celtics tonight?
Yeah, feeling
I feel
good.
like they should be back.
They should be back.
Are they back?
Is Sam House's lower back sinking our repeat chances? Is that something we're gonna have to start thinking about?
This injury has been very strange. The back spasms are indeed back. He's as back as Spider-Man after he tries to jump.
We hit a light bill, so I
alleyway
can play the
and
Crows.
Is this all drinking HBTC? Well, it's half. Half of the people on your screen are drunk. Half of them are not. You can guess.
It's true. It's only 11:30 in the morning here, so I'm having a smoothie. So it's early days on this end.
I don't like Jamie talking about the two crows. I found out that you guys showed the Wizard of Oz.
We hit 30 likes on the stream.
Yes.
I mean 30 likes on the stream, like fair play. But as someone who did have to be that music kid in high school, it's tough for the brands.
We hit that.
Can't say I'm familiar with Spy Two Crow, and that all four of those words in a sequence don't mean anything to me.
So for context, on Thursday's pregame show from the Garden, Jack and I were saying everyone liked the stream, which you guys actually should all do today. It would be really nice.
Yeah, you should do that.
Yeah, wait.
They came all the way here.
The stream?
You guys better be liking the stream. And we got them to like the stream, and our goal was 30 likes. So Jack pulled up the video of his high school performance of The Wizard of Oz, where Jack played all the parts. Jack and Danny played several parts in this play.
Let's go.
One of them, they were pros.
Outrageous number of parts. Outrageous. 5 roles.
And
5 whole parts.
Mind you, the production on this play is incredible. The set, incredible. Like, you look at this, and it looks like it was done professionally. Like, we saw the clip on YouTube, and we were like, why are there 44,000 views on this clip? And then we saw the play, and we were like, makes sense why there's this many views.
I mean, insane to have 44,000 views on anything you did in high school.
That's awesome.
I mean, like, if you just hear that in a sentence, like, 44,000 views on, like, something you did in high school, you get a little scared.
Very scared.
You're like, okay, where did I embarrass myself? And then, bam, it's, I get to see myself musical theater. So.
Are you embarrassed?
I'm not embarrassed, but I was sick.
It reminds me
proud
of
it,
like
Danny, not proud.
Yeah. Like, you ever seen the It's Always Sunny episode where I said Dennis that like does the show to like get back
the
at
night
them?
man.
It's so fucking good. I can imagine you guys have put on a similarly quality performance.
It was extremely quality. They were crows. They were tornadoes. They were what else?
Oh, nobody spun that house like us. We were also bellboys. We ran across the stage. We were, what was it? Who were the bugs?
Jitterbugs.
We were the jitterbugs. And then I think we had like one more.
We were the Knights.
We were the Knights, yes.
Tornado, crows, bellboys, jitterbugs, Knights.
We did all. We're like a 5-tool player. You know, you put us where you need us. We're a very Derek White type in the musical space, where we just kind of play our role and we do our part, and the team succeeds. We don't have to be the superstar.
Derek White of high school.
They had a real dog as Toto. They had a real dog.
We had a real dog. It was crazy. The dog was getting trained with treats. It was a whole thing. The dog somehow did not have a bathroom incident on the stage, which I was personally rooting for. I thought we really were going to see the dog take a shit on the stage. That's why I was rooting for. I thought it was going to make great content, but what can you do?
What could you do? I mean, I think I'm short of poisoning the dog. I think that would have been probably one step too far. So I'm glad you didn't take those matters into your own hands.
We somehow held off on poisoning the dog.
Couple laxatives.
Jake, do you have any high school achievements that we should set the like goal to reveal today?
Man, I have an 8th grade extra credit for science class song that I did about Gregor Mendel, the father of genetics. It's not 43,000 views. It's also before my voice. I wouldn't even say my voice is especially low now, but it's well before my voice went from what it was before to what it is now.
Hell yeah.
But,
The beers are frozen because they were on the porch. I'm going to let you guys do a sober pregame. I was just making sure Sam wasn't alone. But thank you, Jake. I appreciate you very much. Let me know if you need someone for postgame. I'm going to watch the game. It's just in a state. Thank you. I'll see you guys later. Enjoy the pregame. Bye, chat.
Bye, Jack.
Bye.
See you later. So we're back. Jake, I'm sorry. That was not planned. It was not a prank to get you in here and have Jack come on annihilated. I swear. We do respect your presence more than that.
I understand why I'm here now. You can't have that hooligan on the
it's
pregame
the HBTC version of the Eric Andre show, where we just kind of bring you on to just rattle you as much as possible. So before we were I don't even want to say rudely interrupted. We were thoughtfully interrupted.
Sure.
Celtics trying to get their lick back. We were worried about Sam Hauser's back, but Thursday's game was just quite the oddity in terms of the Celtics missed all the threes. They did just about everything else right, and everybody just got mad.
Yeah, I hate that the game. They didn't give us a chance to at least try and win it. Like without the 3 technical foul points, I thought that they had a chance to, even without maybe just 1 technical as opposed to 2 or 3. But the full 3 points was frustrating to not at least give them a chance to try and come back, because once you go down like 9 points, then you can't really come back. Yeah, Fireball Jake came on after the was it the trade deadline? I want to say last because the trade deadline happens at like 7 a.m. I think, or like 8 a.m. our time. And I was like, yeah.
Fireball Jake at 8 a.m.
Yeah, I got some like real vanilla rhubarb tea, nice in the morning, but then just mixed with Fireball. It was a good time. Did we do anything? Yeah, huge vibes after the Xavier Tillman trade. But Hauser is still out tonight. Cool, genuine Phil, sadly. But look, I didn't blame the rest for them losing the game, but they kind of robbed them of the chance to at least try and come back, I thought.
Yeah, the flow was disrupted. Like, Tatum came out after the game and was like, they killed the momentum. Like, he basically said what you said. And he was like, listen, they didn't cost us the game, but we were trying. And then they said, stop trying. And it's true. There was a ton of momentum at that point. The Celtics had just been down 9. I think they cut it down to 3. And then those technical fouls hit. And before you blinked, it was back up to 8 points. It was a 5-point swing off of a jump ball. Like, they very easily could have just won the jump ball, got the defensive stop, and then went back to work on offense. But no, we didn't see that. Today, I believe they still don't have Giddey, and I think Torrey Craig is the other person out for Chicago, and like we mentioned, Hauser out for the Celtics.
Sadly, Giddey being out is bad for the Celtics. He is.
Yeah, you think so? That's your fellow countryman, even though you might disown him.
I know. The good news is we've been able to move on from Giddey to bigger and better things. The Great Barrier Thief in Dyson Daniels this season has been the man. But yeah, Giddey's bad at basketball. I think there's a world eventually where he becomes an impact player, but as it stands right now, like defensively, not good. He needs a ball in his hands, and he's not really that great of a creator or initiator. But if he doesn't have the ball in his hands, he can't shoot. And so he's just not the guy that is helping teams win basketball games, which is what probably Chicago should be trying to do, is get Josh Giddey into the lineup so they can get their tanking shit together. I like this note from RJ in the chat here. Hauser's back worries me more than KP's legs. Thoughts? How do you feel? How would you rank your concerns?
It's a good question. I think the injury power rankings go just about anything that Kristaps does is number 1. Because there's just always the risk of, like, Porzingis could be out there fine 1 minute, and then the next minute you're like, oh my God, his season's over. Just look at the way the calf strain went in the playoffs. As soon as he came up limp, even though he was like all smiles at the time, like we were all like, oh my God, the championship run is chalked, whatever. Comes back for game 1, looks like the best player on the team. And then in the very next game, he's hurt again. And it was this freak injury that only like 6 people have ever had. And he had to have surgery for it. We didn't really think he was going to get back into the finals. They put him out there in the closeout game, just kind of out of like a hat tip / he overruled the training staff. But I mean, those were 2 massive injuries that came out of nowhere. It's not like it was a lingering thing. Like Hauser's back is worrisome. Like us Sam stick together with our bad backs. I've been struggling myself lately, but it's no fun. And you know, if you want to look at Hauser's back as a long-term thing, it's fair. He hasn't been great this season. He hasn't really been up to Hauser standards. Before he missed he had to leave the game with the abductor, the thing on the inside of his leg strain.
Yeah.
He was shooting pretty well. He'd looked really good over the last stretch of games, looked like himself again, but the lingering is not good, especially if it's since the summer. Like I think the team said this week.
It's a fair point. Like the Celtics have more or less mastered winning without Kristaps Porzingis. But here's the thing: if we don't have Sam Hauser, do we get Kristaps Porzingis? If that is the trade that happens, then I think the Celtics are going to be okay. If you're telling me that it's no Kristaps Porzingis and Sam Hauser, which I'm getting to a point with this Hauser thing, we still got a long way to go in the season. But I mean, Kristaps Porzingis is a coin flip as to whether or not you're going to be able to rely on him in the playoffs. He's probably like. My guess he probably just is like in and out of the lineup as he typically is throughout a playoff run. That would be much improved from last playoffs if we could just get him for 2 games every series.
Yeah, more than 5 games.
More than 5 games, if that's the line. And if we're being honest, 3.5, because two of the finals games were somewhat compromised. But Hauser, you start to stack these things up, and clearly they haven't figured out the back injury yet. And it's at this point, it's a chronic thing that has continued to pop up. And so unless they can get that thing under control, which is very possible that they get it under control, does he need to go through some core reorganizing? I'm sure I could go through some of my own core reorganizing to improve.
Couldn't we all? Yeah.
Yeah. Look, as a fellow bad back guy,
a hospitalman myself. Yeah.
Yeah, man. The core is often the thing that they point to as something. And I'm sure the Australians, a lot of Australian talk on the Celtics broadcast this season we've appreciated. That's the next frontier for these guys is can they fix Sam Hauser's back?
What I will say about the Australians on the staff, walking around before the games, if you took the Celtics staff and lined them up, you could just be Australian, that's one of them. He looks just like you, pretty much. It's like you and Shane Gillis put together. It's the same guy. Yeah,
that's a combo.
He's jacked. He's huge. Yeah. The Australian guy.
I believe it. That's awesome,
man. So the line on this game is Celtics 12.5, and it's been discussed with me today because I've been at the sportsbook all day. I'll be back.
Okay.
I didn't bet it. I don't like to bet the Celtics just because I never know what to think. Even if I feel good, I felt good on Thursday. I thought they would stomp them on Thursday, and they lost outright. So
they're not. I went back and had a look at the rest situation. They haven't been good off of rest.
No, they hate rest.
They are 6-1 now. To be fair, they were 6-0 coming into the game, but you look at the games that they did have. It was the NBA Cup Wizards game which was basically close until that the Wizards forgot how point differential worked and gave us a 10-point differential. That was a coin flip game till down to the wire against the Wizards. The NBA Cup game against the Bulls, that was down to the wire as well. Overtime game against the Raptors, that was coming off rest also. I'm missing one more off the top of my head. Pistons. They just haven't been good off rest. This is the thing that's gone back a couple of years, not including the playoffs, at least last season. So, I actually think they're gonna. If I had to bet the line, I'd bet Celtics 12.5. Those lines are just so big that you don't know it goes either way. Last game, the sports book that I have here in Australia, they offered a boost straight up on the money line for the Bulls, and usually they're all just terrible. No chance these ever hit.
Yeah, they're hey idiot, come take this bad bet.
Yeah,
same thing here.
And I took it though because I was I'll take the boost. A bit of Celtics insurance, just $5. And I actually just forgotten about it until I checked the app, and I was that's a nice bonus. But that should have just been free money for the books. So I think coming off a loss and not having rest, I think they're going to be ready to go.
Yeah, they really hate rest. It's so funny.
Yeah.
all of those games, very winnable games, all of them far too close. I remember watching the Pistons game in particular because that was made such a big deal after they played the 5 of 7 nights, and like everybody cried about it after they lost to the Grizzlies. Like they all went to the podium and they were like, yeah, just played a lot of games. Like, and they very clearly did run out of gas. Like they're not just making an excuse. You could clearly see like they didn't have the legs to make threes. They didn't look like themselves down the stretch. They couldn't get a stop. Like it was.
The Grizzlies are good too.
And the Grizzlies are a good team.
Grizzlies are good.
But it was like, okay, yeah, like they're going to be rested against the Pistons. And they come out and score 5 points in the first 8 minutes of the game or whatever it was until Luke Cornett got in and saved them. It was like, what is going on here? These guys should just play every other day. Like you might see the best Celtics you've seen because it's every other day till the new year. Maybe you're going to really be impressed with what they show you to end 2024. It's so weird that it's going to be 2025 in like 2 weeks. It's all. I'm like kind of pissed. 2024 is a great year. Celtics won. Like now it's officially on. Like have to turn the page. Like Joe Mazzulla, he'll tell you probably first thing. Maybe next time we see it. Like how quickly in 2025 do you just ignore everything that happened, even though they've already been ignoring it.
Yeah, look, 2025 Celtics. That's what we move into. Actually, it makes it a lot easier once you're actually in the year of the title. Just
correct.
You're just describing the teams as opposed to having to say the 23/24 Celtics, not the 24/25 Celtics. So that's a nice little housekeeping note that makes all of our lives easier. But yeah, like this stretch, it's really annoying because they should have just won this Bulls game and won. Because, man, the Cavs are going to be hard to catch. Like they, at some point, I'm going to have to assume they don't shoot above like 42%. Every game, they shoot like 42, 43% against the Bucks last night. Again, another 42% from 3 night. They've just been on fire shooting the ball. But they're going to be hard to catch, I think. And now you're like, 2 games back, 1.5 games back. Their schedule gets a little bit trickier. But like, you don't want to drop games against the Bulls. You don't want to drop, because like, the Cavs have we don't have a title level focus and motivation that the Celtics.
Correct.
And I'm not trying to like overly, wait what happened in that Bulls game. It's very possible the Celtics go on a 10-game winning streak right now, and then they have the 1 seed after that. Like that wouldn't surprise me either. But it's you don't want to drop games coming off rest like that against bad teams. Like that's just not how you catch a team that's going to be like the Cavs. That's going to win 60 games probably.
Yeah, and Francisco thinks there's no way they catch him if they play Springer, which is actually really hurtful.
Potentially accurate.
He's only like 21, like he's just a kid. Leave him alone, and also leave me alone. That's my guy. Like
I'm also a kid.
Yeah, I said it to a lot of the people like at the game on Thursday. I was like, literally worst case scenario for me. Celtics wear white at home. They play Springer. Zach LaVine's on the Bulls, and he sucks, and then they lose. And I was just like, how wrong could I be? If there's one thing he's not, it's a cone. Like the only thing he gave them on Thursday was a cone. It was not a cone. It was defense. On offense, he's a cone that sits in the dunker spot because they don't trust him to shoot threes. Like it was visibly affecting the way they played the game, and it wasn't good. But on defense, he delivers. Like that's one thing you cannot say about Springer is that he's a cone.
No, he's definitely not a cone. But I definitely don't. I don't know if he lives like so straight up on ball defense. I think he's fantastic, but off ball, he's not that tall, so he's not like impacting passing lanes that much. And
right.
I know. And Sam, look, I know he's your guy, but he is 22 now. He's not 21, and 88 days. I just checked. So we gotta start holding this guy to a little bit of a high standard. It did not go well for the.
Should have waited when he's warming up.
It did not go well for the boosting Jaden Springer's trade value, or the Jaden Springer is going to be the next perimeter dude that helps us in the rotation.
It was a good move by him, actually. Like he was smart. He was like, I don't want to be traded, so I'm going to miss the one open 3 that I get.
He's doing the opposite of what Pritchard did. He's really hoping he stays and playing badly so no one can trade for him, as opposed to Pritchard.
Like the front office just has their head in hands. They're just like, this is devastating. Like,
and the Celtics
nobody wanted that 3 to drop more than Brad Stevens. Even me.
And everyone's watching Peyton Pritchard behind the scenes being like working his harder than anybody else on the team while he asks for trades. And they're like, we're not trading you, dude. We decided to do a $7 million 4-year deal. But
yes, this was awesome. Very excited. Like it was a surprise to me because I found it on Twitter. Being there, like I didn't know that he said that, but that's fantastic for you guys.
It was awesome. Yeah, like I was watching the game and he said as soon as he said Drew Hanlon, I was like, is this the moment?
You were like,
and it was indeed. So yeah, man, Very, very cool. Shout out Drew Hanlon. That's like, no one's ever going to be able to replace Mike Gorman, but there was a 0% chance that Mike Gorman was ever going to see the clip that we posted about Drew Hanlon on Twitter. So that's
I think that's what makes Drew Carter cool is he's just so different. Like he's not trying to be Mike Gorman. He's like trying to be like kind of like one of us. Like he's like kind of funny and quippy on the broadcast. Like it makes it a lot of fun to listen. I like the difference. If you're going to not have Gorman, you might as well have somebody that's not him at all, not trying to be him. Because you just can't live up to that standard.
I think this season has just reminded me how much everybody likes to complain. And I think I'm talking to someone who loves to complain.
I love to complain. I actually, so I even said to Jack Thursday when we were leaving the pressers, this is actually going to be really fun. Because we haven't had like a fun loss to talk about. Like we left that Wizards game last week. Like after watching that, we were just like, what is going on here? Like there's nothing to talk about.
Oh, dude. Yeah. Like this, and I think this Celtics season has felt like that in some ways. The East has been garbage. The Celtics have been really good. There have been some really fun games. Don't get me wrong. Both Cleveland games, the Warriors game that they lost, like the Timberwolves game at home that they won. There's definitely been games with juice. Opening night, obviously. All three of the Bucks games have been great. But man,
they've been great games.
Yeah. We're 3-0 against the NBA Cup champs, which don't forget that. But sweeping, baby. But and so like you see this stretch coming up, like it's like Wizards, Pistons, Bulls. The Sixers game on Christmas. I mean, Magic without Franz and Paolo. The Sixers might actually have Embiid and stuff, so that might have some juice, which is good.
He never beats them. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly. So like I kind of get it from like fan, even just like anyone's perspective, like a player's perspective, not having the juice for like a random game against the Bulls when it feels kind of monotonous. Like there's a stretch right after New Year's where we get Timberwolves back-to-back against the Rockets and then day off Thunder, day off Nuggets. And that's all a road trip. Like no rest, all good teams. It's just going to be like load up, Tatum and Jaylen, what can you do for us? And so like, they probably like if you come out of that stretch 2-2, or like you're probably like still fine with it, but it will definitely give us a lot more excitement.
Yeah, especially with them being road games, right? Like it's almost like an extra hurdle to climb. So finally, gonna get some juice to start the new year. Juice with a 7, by the way.
That's right. Jaylen. Speaking of juice,
go ahead.
How do you feel about Jaylen's season? Because I think he's been pretty good, but like the efficiency hasn't quite been there. He was not very good in the most recent game, but I've just seen people being like, he's been bad/garbage. I'm like, he's still putting up like 24, 6, and 5. He's almost averaging 5 assists this season, which we kind of talked about his playmaking growth over the season. And like, that's been real. And like you add that to his increased free throw rate. I don't think that he's forgotten how to put the orange ball in the basket. So like, once the efficiency comes around, and the efficiency isn't even that bad, like 55% true shooting, it's not good, but it's also not really hurting the team. So I don't know. What are your feelings on JB this year?
I think Jaylen is being asked to do something he's not used to doing, and it's kind of throwing him off a little bit. Like I think there is a feeling when you watch it, it's like he's not quite fitting in just yet. Like he's not quite comfortable yet. He doesn't really look like the guy that was playing in the playoffs last year. Like he hasn't been as efficient as you'd like, but you also have to remember like a lot of that inefficiency came before he hurt his hip or when he was dealing with the hip injury. And once he came back, he felt like he was playing a little bit better for a while. I think the slow start to the season certainly is burned into people's brains. I would like to see him put the ball in the basket a little bit more efficiently. One thing that was great about him last season is you could count on him to get a bucket from the mid-range. I feel like that hasn't been as reliable, but guys are going to be cold every once in a while. It's just going to happen. I'm not worried about him long term. I just think he's not been quite the killer he was, but I also think he's trying not to be a killer.
I also think that like he kind of took off last season as well. I think he started slow last year, and like I remember last season post All-Star break, he was really fucking good, and then into the playoffs, he was really fucking good. So I think that like 336 Boston in the chat. Like I think He is very low on my list of concerns. Like maybe he's not quite as dominant as he was in last year's playoffs, but I think that's offset by Tatum probably shooting the ball better and playing better, playing the best basketball of his career. So yeah, he's of the concerns you can have with a team that's 20-6 or whatever we are. Like he's pretty low on my list.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like if they were losing games and it felt like it was his fault, then it becomes a little bit more loud of a buzz. But right now, like they're pretty good. 2 games out of first place.
Pretty good.
Pretty rare for them to lose. It's so rare that I'm bored and excited when they lose. So yeah, Jaylen, just keep doing what you're doing. Get comfortable before it's really time to have the pressure on you. Jake, any final thoughts before I wrap it up here? Thanks again for joining First to the Floor pod. Make sure everyone goes and listens to it. You guys do excellent work over there.
Yeah, we're going to be jumping. I'm back to playback now. I finally have beaten this sinus infection that plagued me for the past 2 weeks. So back on pregame show. Hey, how about them Celtics? We got this right. Yeah, take that. Yeah, playback today. We're back at it, and then we'll do instant reactions afterwards as well on so Celtics blog, playback.tv/Celtics blog, and then
nice
first to floor.
Well, everybody go hop on over there because we're going to wrap up now. Again, playback.tv/Celtics blog. Jake will be there. It'll be a good time. I'll be back on those streams eventually. I've just been busy. But yes, thank you everyone for coming out. Thank you, Jake. And here.
I just got 3 things to say. God bless our troops. God bless America.